We know aim of human life is to go back to God. Our soul is part of that Almighty God. And when it goes back to God, then it finds peace and happiness. Till the soul is away from God, is not finding happiness but sufferings in this world. And this is why it is said, what does it profit a man if he gains the possessions of the whole world and loses his own self? If we are doing everything for our body and we are neglecting our soul, then it's no use. And knowledge of self precedes to God knowledge. So when we say that we want to save our soul or we want to protect it, then it is only possible when we know about God. We go back to God, we merge in God, and cycle of life and death is finished. This is why it is said that if we gain the possessions of the whole world and is not following the path of religion, then we have lost everything. So I have many times explained to you that only one is very important to us, and without that one, everything what we achieve is zero. And now you think of the other face of the matter. If we get that one God, we have worry-free life, happiness and bliss in life, peace and tranquility. We have immortal life. We have not to die and be born again and again. So these are the two faces of the thing. And everybody wants that he should have happiness, he should have worry-free life. Though sometimes you can find out happiness in worldly pleasures, but it is very short-living. And when we decide that we want a happy life, then it is only possible by following the spiritual path. That every moment we turn from the material way of living to the spiritual way. So the moment we decide that we want to follow the spiritual path, there should not be further involvement of the material world. But when one decides to follow the spiritual path, then he starts thinking, what purpose I have to live in this world? Sometimes people think they don't want to live in this world because then it will be involvement in the material things. And momentarily they start thinking, oh, I don't want to live, I want to die. And this they start thinking out of depression, that when they are not achieving anything by involving in the material things, what's the use of living in this world? And with that thinking, they have no motivation to work in this world. But the question is that going to solve our problem? Running away from the battlefield is not the solution. Running away from the world is not the solution. Running away in the jungle, leaving everything aside that we don't want to involve ourselves in the matter is not the right way. Because my master used to say that running away from your duty is not the right way. If you don't want to earn and work for your children and for your relations and you go to jungle, it is not the solution. Because then you will start making family with your disciples, with your friends, with your non-persons there. Because mind has the tendency to involve in the worldly thing. And mind is so strong that you cannot control it. No one in the world could control the mind. People have tried with so many means for so many years and lives together, but there was no success. But there is one way. Mind has a very good tendency to involve itself in one matter at one time. When it is involved in material things, it cannot think of spirituality. And when it is involved and interested in spiritual things, then it is not thinking of material things. So the best way is to withdraw the mind from the worldly things and then involve it in spiritual things. It is the same way, look, stop and go. The right way is that we withdraw mind and we stop it first. But somebody will think that instead of trying all the things with mind, why should we involve ourselves in the world? We keep it away. But it is not in our hand. We are in this world due to our past karmas. And everything in this world is preordained due to our past karma. And we cannot change that preordained things. We can add new things to it, but we cannot change what was originally preordained. And there is no way out of all these troubles till we have finished all our past karmas. Even a single penny which we owe has to be paid, and then we will be free from that. Jesus Christ has made it very clear in Bible that if even one dot is not cleared, then we cannot be free from that. I tell you one story to make the matter clear. There was one spiritual man, he has followed the path all his life. And when he was to die, then he called all his disciples and said, "Now I am going to die. And when I die, you will hear the ringing of bell, and with that you are sure that I got salvation." All disciples collected and waiting for hearing the ringing of bell. Then the man died, but there was no ringing of bell. Then they all started discussing what is the matter. And one very progressed disciple sat for meditation, and he came to know that the man could not get salvation. And then they asked why he could not get salvation. Then the man asked one man to take out one fruit from the tree and said, "You bring it here." And he brought the fruit, and he was cutting it, and there was an insect in it. He was killing it, and then they were hearing the ringing of the bell. And then they asked, "What is this matter?" And the man explained that my master, before dying, has a desire to eat this fruit but could not fulfill it, and so he died and has to take one life to finish that desire. And you can see how difficult the path is, that if you make a mistake, minor mistake, for that you have to suffer one life. We know the story of the blind king in Mahabharata. The man was born blind from his birth. And then he was knowing about his past karmas. He asked that I have not done anything, why I am born blind? And Lord Krishna guided him inside, and he could see that in his 115th birth, before he has made the cat blind, so he is blind now. So any minor karma which has not finished, maybe it is from many thousands of births before, has to be finished, otherwise we cannot get rid of that. And this is why that doing the same work in two persons doing the same work in the same way have sometimes very different results. Doing the same work in this life, still having different results, may be due to past karma effect. This is one aspect of karma. The other one is that we are doing new karmas every moment. And we are adding more and more karmas every moment. So we have to manage that we are not doing any more karma and we are free from the past karmas. Then we can find the right way. And to finish these past karmas, we have to be in this world. It is our duty to finish these karmas, and for that we have to be in this world. If we want to run away from our duty, we cannot. So we have to see how we manage that we are not adding new karma. The very simple way is that you don't have your attention to the karma. When I say don't have your attention to the karma, it does not mean that you don't have your attention in doing the karma. But it is that you don't have your attention to the result. You do your duty and leave the result to God. Masters explain it in a very different way. As there is a lotus flower, it is staying in the water. Without water, then it will die up. So living in water is responsibility, as we have to live in this world. But its flower is not affected by the water. Lotus leaves are not wet by water. That you are living in this world, you have your full attention in doing the worldly duties, and you are not having your attention to the result. Whether it is good or bad, whether it is to your liking or to your disliking, you are not affected by that. And this is only possible when you have your attention with the inner sound current. Or you are having your attention with your master, thinking you are doing this work under his orders. You are living in this world for the higher purpose of uniting back to God. So keep your attention with him and don't involve it with the worldly things, with the results of the action. The worldly things are like pebbles and stones. You have not to put your attention for collecting stones and pebbles. So your attention should be with master and your hand with work. And you have neither your desire nor any wish in the whole matter. Don't say, I want it like this, I wish it like this. Wish and I is involved in the matter, then we are affected by the result. I tell you one story. There was one Sadhna butcher. He was considered to be perfect master, but he was working as butcher. And due to his past karmas, he was to kill one goat every day and to sell the meat, and this was his work as profession. He was killing the animal and was selling the meat up to noon, and then he was free for the whole day for his meditation and other works. And one day, king's messenger came and wanted to purchase 2 kilos of meat, and he has finished selling of that day. And he thought, if I say no, then king will be angry. And if I kill other animal and sell 2 kilos to him, then rest will be gone to waste, because nobody is purchasing in the afternoon. They know that he is not selling in the afternoon. Then he thought a bit and thought that he should not kill the goat, but should take out 2 kilo meat and should not kill the goat, and he will kill the goat next day. But then he heard a sound inside, and he was told that killing one animal and selling the flesh was due to your past karma. And this, what you are thinking, is your new karma, and it will involve you in difficulties. You see that even a minor change in the whole matter can overturn everything. One can think, oh, I am killing every day one animal. How it matters that one day I kill one more? But that killing of one animal was due to past karma, and this addition of one more is due to his thinking, and it will involve new karma. So better don't add anything by your thinking. If we put our decision to the review of our mind, then we will always make mistakes, because mind is the agent of negative power. Mind only knows about the material things. Mind is not knowing about his spirituality, and it cannot follow and cannot think about the spiritual things. So to be very sure what is right, what is wrong, you leave the decision to God. Before starting anything, you stop your mind and repeat the holy words 5 times, and then you start work. But don't allow mind to interfere in the result. If you are fully obeying what comes from inside, then you are not responsible for the result. Don't think whether the decision is from inside or not. You only think that you have not put your mind in it. And in this way, when you are following the inner inspiration, then you will be free from adding new karma. And the store of past karmas, which is of many thousands of lives, will be finished with the automatic sound current. For that you have not to worry. Once you have the automatic sound current, then it is finishing all the stores of past. It is said in Adi Granth that if you have a big heap of wood and you put one small fire in it, then it will all be burnt to ashes. And when you are finishing, you are not adding any new karma, then you will progress on the spiritual path and you will hear the sound current also. For that you have not to do any special efforts. Finishing the past karmas and obeying master is progressing you on the spiritual path. If you are perfect in obeying, then you will hear the automatic sound current in this very life. So living in this world, we have to live in this world, but not for it, but for the higher purpose of uniting back to God. And you should remember that one minor mistake can make you suffer for one life even. So to be very sure that you are free from making any mistakes, the way is you obey 100%, you obey him 150%, and you obey him without if and buts. But always remember that even one mistake can make you suffer. And you cannot say that you have been obeying whole life. If you could not obey once, then how it happened so? Very perfection is needed to merge in God. We have to be in this world, but not of it. You do whatever you like and put every burden to the Master. This is why Lord Krishna said in Gita that all this religion, all philosophies, all things are of no use, but you follow me, you obey me. And with that you can live very free in this world. And you die and go and merge in God. But I tell you once more, it is easy to understand because this mind is always the obstruction and is not allowing you to obey Master. Obey like fool and be the beloved son of the Master. Thank you very much.